Oh, that was the wrong button. I had a setup that I wanted to do.
Wichita, Kansas.
Hello, I'm Donald Trump, and you're listening to my friend TJ and the liberal Coach Casey.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to excuse me.
Now, it may get bigger, it may get a little bigger, it may not get bigger at all. We'll see what happens. But regardless of what happens, we're totally prepared.
This is your victory. Now, I know you didn't do this just to win an election. And I know you didn't do it for me. You did it because you understand the enormity of the task that lies ahead.
You're not going to believe this. He killed 16 Czechoslovakians. Guy was an interior decorator. His house looked like shit.
Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
Everybody, welcome to the Middle of the Road podcast.
Oh, my God.
No, I did it now.
Yeah.
I'm going to send it up to this corner. It's...
Skin man, villain in disguise.
I like that.
All right, thank you for that intro. One only smokes meat, the other smokes almost everything except meat. It's TJ and Coach Casey.
Wow.
See, there, I figured he got meat into that. We got the fact that I smoke everything. And so, TJ, what's up, buddy?
Not a lot. We have special guest.
You can call me Officer TJ Hooker.
TJ Hooker, huh?
Sheriff Officer TJ Hooker.
We got special guest here today.
We do. I didn't know if I was. My thought was
not including the best intro.
That's what I was going to say. My thought was going into this, we get like 20 minutes into the show and not even acknowledge him.
Yeah, just be like, who's that guy?
And then see if like people are like, what's going on? TJ had a friend he's been trying to get to come on the show, I think, for a little bit. He says he's funny. We'll wait and see how that goes. Yeah. I say I'm funny, and I fail at that every time. So when there's like some anticipation, it makes it hard. What's up, Chance?
What's going on, guys?
Chance, where are you from, buddy?
Born and raised in Arkansas. I now live in north central, middle of nowhere, Kansas.
Come up to the mic just a little bit closer,
yeah,
a little bit closer so we can hear you. And everybody, I mean, I think they heard, like, you sound like if I call a golf course in Oklahoma, Arkansas, or Missouri, that's what I expect the mechanic to sound like is you.
Yeah, no, that's basically what you're going to get. It's going to be unintelligible.
There
will be words spoken.
I like it. Well, we're going to play a game throughout this show, and we're going to start out with a round of it real quick where nobody did this really, but I said to have a question ready. So we're going to...
Ding. Skinman is ready.
Well, hold on a
We're
second.
not even on the air, Skinman.
Yeah, we're not even... he doesn't even know. Okay, now we're on air.
There.
Finally. That's the reason I messed up at the beginning.
Yeah.
But every time I hit this button...
Answer the question.
We're going to play, I'm going to pull, I'm going to have this out here, and we're going to play a game called Question Roulette, where I'm going to spin it every time I hit it, and wherever it lands, that's the person that's going to ask Chance a question. Now, the caveat to that is if it lands on Chance, he gets to pick anybody in the room he wants to ask a question, so he can get to know us, and maybe people that are listening that have not got to know us through our failed efforts of trying to get to introduce ourselves to him, maybe this will give him a chance. So we're going to start out with...
Answer the question.
And I'm going to spin it. And we're going to say this one landed on me.
There we go.
So it's whatever it lands closer to. So I'm going to just start out. I already asked my first question. But why are you the way you are? And explain.
Oh, Lord, failed childhood.
Okay.
Left alone to my own demons too long.
Okay.
Too many times.
All right.
Way too much time alone.
I should have waited to ask that one later. But I think then as they get to, if you start out with them, then like as they get to know him, they're going to be like, oh, well, maybe if everybody you introduced, you start out, why are you the way you are?
Yeah.
And then as you got to know him, like, well, I can't really be mad at him. He was molested multiple times growing up by his, daycare provider or whatever that is.
You can expect it.
Oh, yeah. A person with Down syndrome.
Yeah, Down syndrome brutally molested him every day for a summer. I mean, you're going to end up strange. So
I only spent 3 years in that summer camp.
I'm going to spin it again and let it land on Skin Man to get him a question. And since he dinged in.
Oh, what is the one movie that best describes your sense of humor?
Oh Lord.
I know what you want him to say, and if he, but
I don't want anyone to say anything.
I just figured it has a list in the title. No.
I mean, honestly, this is one I watched again recently that just never fails, which would be The Ringer with Johnny Knoxville, where where he plays the special needs guy.
That's one of those movies. If you only watched once or watched part of, it's not maybe that in your bank.
Yeah.
But if you've watched it a bunch of times,
You got to watch it more than once.
It's like that. It's like we talked about it before. It's like Tropic Thunder. It's you couldn't do it now.
I just watched like a clip from that on TikTok today, and it was Les Grossman, and he's like, who's that? Who's on the phone? And he picks it up, and he's like, we do not negotiate with terrorists. And he's like, oh, fucking rain down on your ass.
That's the only. I've said this on I think of the show before. It's the only movie to this day I like Tom Cruise in. So,
have you seen Maverick yet?
Doesn't matter.
Have you seen it?
I wouldn't like him in it. The movie would probably be good. I'm not saying he's in a bunch of good movies.
Just him as
That's the only movie I like him in. You got to listen to the way I say it. He's in. I mean, freaking the first Top Gun's a decent movie. I really only like. I pause it at the volleyball scene and then just keep re-watching that. Just watching them dudes playing volleyball. Hours on end.
There's a reason for that, but yeah.
Whoa. All right, and then it landed on TJ for the last question. Did you have any for him?
Yeah, I have a bunch of questions for Chance.
You didn't. That's the only reason I wanted
but
to
I
land
have
on.
them in my right here.
Well, you know him already, so that's the caveat or the thing. You know him. We're getting to know him.
So, Chance, you're outside, and a spider is in the front of the door. But on the others, but to turn around, you have to walk through shards of glass and machine gun dildos fired at your face. Which one are you doing?
Mouth open, barefooted all day long. 100%. 100%.
Is it just spiders or
Just
snakes
spiders.
too?
Nope.
Chance
I love
hates
spiders.
spiders.
I love snakes. Hate spiders. Spider drops down, out.
I send
Not a big fan of them, but not definitely a thing.
Anytime I get any kind of spider thing, I send it to Chance. I get the same response back. Fuck you every time.
So,
well, I think that'll be fun to do throughout as we'll jump into this game. So
yeah, it's so leaning on the spider thing. So my ex-wife, my son's mother, she was 8 months pregnant, approximately.
Okay.
Lived in Arkansas at the time. Everybody knows spiders are a no-no.
Okay.
Walking through the house.
Can you be a man if you're truly scared of spiders? Okay.
You'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. 8 months pregnant, going through the house. There is a spider on the wall. In my eyes, probably the size of the TV. In reality,
teeny, yeah,
I mean,
it's
like
a speck.
yeah,
it may have not. Yeah,
microscopic.
Let's say a tick at biggest.
Yeah,
ticks freak me out more than spiders. But
so, wife's in the back. I scream like a girl. Not ashamed to admit it. It happens. She comes running in, thinks I broke a bone, something bad happens.
What's going on with you, baby?
What's wrong? I'm gonna need you to kill that. She goes, what do you mean? That spider right there. She goes, kill it. No. She goes, hit it with a flip-flop. No. Because what if I miss? If I miss, it comes back at me. I'm out. I'm done. Heart attack, over. Life insurance, it's you. All you.
God, I wish I'd have known. I wish I'd have known this before the show.
I'm
We
glad
could
you didn't.
we could have had a lot of fun with this.
Hope you got good health insurance.
Listen. I hump back, buddy. I'm that way with. I don't like mice. They freak me out. I don't get up on. If I just see one out of nowhere, you might hear a girl scream out at me, but then I'll try to get tough and contain the situation. But poop is probably my thing that I'm that way with. It scares me, and I run away from dog poop, kid poop, my wife pooping, my poop. I usually don't even flush it. I just get up and run away when I'm done. You know, yeah. Somebody takes care of no.
Yeah, hair's my other thing. Like spiders and hair. It's weird because maybe because
they look. If you enough hair together, it can look like a spider.
I don't.
All right.
My own hair. I'm very
Could be
hairy
it.
man. I don't do hair.
Well, we're going to do that throughout the show. We're going to take a break and flip around and see if we get any, get to know him throughout the show. But I have a question for everybody to start the show, and you guys can maybe help me with this. If we evolved from monkeys, why are there still monkeys, and what are they evolving to now?
Well, maybe the monkeys that we evolved from
We're
aren't here no more.
Okay.
So a different kind of monkeys.
Okay.
So these are just like lesser monkeys.
But if, again, they had the ability to at one point, what are they evolving to now?
I don't know. You ever seen Space Odyssey 2000 or whatever that is? I really think it was kind of like that. You've seen it, I'm sure.
You have any take on that?
We got the vaccine from the aliens, and the monkeys did not.
Ah, okay.
There's that.
Well, that's what you wonder. That's what everybody said. We evolved from monkeys, or did like an alien come mate with one and crap two of us out? And then those were the Adam and Eve we're talking about. And then they just banged up, like they were from Arkansas, and they banged up just boom, boom, boom until we were populated.
Back then, we got the COVID AD 2000 vaccine.
Okay.
So now this is a new COVID.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, you
so
got
Fauci
it.
was calling the shots back then.
Yeah,
too?
yeah. I mean, fuck, he's old enough, Do you see that video that's going around today with Fauci going into the hood trying to get people to take the vaccine, and he stops at some brother's door, and he's like, "I ain't fucking taking that."
Oh no, I didn't see that.
No,
I don't follow Fauci. If you
I may have sent it.
Send me his link to his Twitter, and I'll start following him.
Yep, I'll send it to you.
I'll go through a couple of the things I have on the list. Bill Gates wants to eliminate us. March Madness is crazy. The Arkansas coach should be fired. I had my second date
I don't want to talk about that.
That's okay. I had my second date with Smoothie. Still no kiss, but I think he's trying to do Democrat conversion therapy on me. That's okay because I'm trying to do straight conversion therapy on him, and we're going to see whose works out.
Either way.
Either way, we both win. Or you win on one side. I don't know what we'll call this show then if I just jump aisle, which is starting to happen.
Yeah.
And then social media, some thoughts on it. Just I was worried about my kids all this time, and maybe I should have been worrying about myself. My expectations of like you see a good dad on Facebook, and you're like, God damn it, why aren't I a good dad?
You feel bad about yourself.
Oh man, then I'm like, so if I'm an adult who's fairly comfortable with myself, how is a kid that's trying to formulate a theory of themselves that sees one walking around with a boner all day because hot chicks and little tight whatever, but two, then whatever kid posts the cutest kid in school posts a photo and 500 likes on it. You're like, man, that makes me mad now. So,
but on a sitcom, that dad was comprised of 15 different people.
Yeah.
Putting their heads together to make a good dad.
Uh-huh.
Well,
you're one person.
No, and I'm talking about more like you'll see the mom that gets on there and posts about her husband like, oh, Chance built a chicken coop for us this weekend. He painted the garage. He put the kids to bed both nights, and he had enough energy to grill for us Sunday night. And I'm like,
I know somebody who's like that who gets laid twice a year. So,
well, I know exactly. Well, I'm just saying though. But he's the dad I aspire to be because his kids are gonna.
But that's just bullshit, though.
Maybe you're right.
Well, okay.
Again, most of social media is. I think that's my point. We aspiring to be something I'm not. I'm a mediocre dad at best, and I will strive to not be a better. My kids are used to it by now. If I ever would have exceeded it, I knew I was going to drop back. Why do it? I coach sports. I was there for their stuff. I would beat up another dad if I need. If some dad got in my kid's face, I'll fuck him up or throw a spider at him if it's Chance or something.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Well, then who would be your favorite if you could have had any TV dad? Who would be your dad? Skin Man, start with you.
Oh, I'd be Bill Cosby.
No, to be your dad.
Yeah,
that's what he said. He said he'd Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
that's a pretty damn good. That's a pretty good DV dad.
Yeah,
Casey.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think I would, the one that I think I would associate the most with would have been who we talked about earlier, Al Bundy. But the one that I probably wanted to be my dad was, God damn it, his son's the singer.
Yeah.
God dang it.
The Blurred Lines guy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
God
That's who I was. Alan
Thicke.
Yeah.
Alan Thicke is who I want.
But was his name Seaver on the show?
Yeah, on the
Yeah,
show.
but Thicke is the one that was like,
Alan
he was the best dad because you'd fuck up and do something stupid, and then he'd bring Kirk Cameron and sit him on his lap or take him into their office is what they always did, and just have that talk with them. And then, he got, whether it was, fingering a chick in the butt in line he got in trouble for, or stealing. I don't remember that. You don't remember that episode?
For that in the 80s.
Yeah, I was young when that show came out.
But how old are you, by the way?
37.
Okay, well you're our age.
Yeah,
I mean, ish.
Same age.
He's in his late 30s.
He's in his
like
early
us.
30s.
Yeah.
Or middle.
We're in our late 30s.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
middle 30s.
Well, who would be your dad, TV dad?
God, there's so many that I would not want to be my dad.
What about the dad off? Of course, you guys probably never watched Drake and Josh.
No.
I did. I had kids of that age, so the dad on there was pretty cool. He'd always pull him aside. He was a weatherman too. I always wanted a weatherman dad.
Now speaking of
Roker.
Boom.
What's his name?
I don't have that sounder yet.
Damn it! What's his
He's been like a TV dad.
Nicolas Cage on the movie The Weatherman. He was a fucking awesome dad on
Yeah?
that because the kids were calling his daughter Camel Toe, and he was trying to figure out what that meant. What is it? She says. She goes, "I think it's because I'm kind of tough." And
Camels are strong.
Camels are tough too, so I think that's why they call me Camel Toe. I think that's it. I saw that.
That's
but
okay.
I
I
knew
don't
we were
even.
good.
I don't ever use that one
I
no
knew we were
more.
okay.
Yeah, I don't ever use that
What
one
chance?
no
Who
more.
who you got?
So, oh man, I would say Full House. I mean, it's hard to beat.
Yeah,
Danny
he
Tanner.
was awesome. Danny Tanner was that next probably best one, and plus, then you had your uncle to go get another
Dude,
different
you got
conversation,
Uncle
and your
Jesse.
other uncle to go
Yeah.
get another a funny conversation, a rock and roll conversation, and a serious conversation.
And then, like, if Stephanie wasn't really like your sister,
Yeah, I know. You know,
Oh, Stephanie's his. I'm DJ.
you're DJ.
Oh,
I'm
way over.
Stephanie.
Really?
You?
yeah, Stephanie. Hardcore.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, if we're going to go all out, we're going to go with DJ's best friend.
I was gonna say she was the hoe, so I've been in on Kimmy. Yeah, especially the later episode.
Yeah.
She looked a lot better.
That weird neighbor.
Yeah.
I have.
I don't get to tell who. My
Oh, who
TV dad
yours? I
would
thought
be.
yours was Alan Thicke too. You said it.
No,
Sorry.
I just said yeah. That's
Oh,
who.
okay.
I was gonna say Danny Tanner too, but since we're going with different ones,
Could it be the TV dad that's going around right now, the Family Matters one?
Well, see, that was my other thought. That was my second.
But you didn't
Yeah.
want to be racist or not
Yeah.
be.
No, I'm from the South. I have to be.
That's true.
maybe Alf's,
We'll get to that in a second.
Alf's dad, or
See, I don't remember the dad. I remember him. I
or
remember
Splinter.
Splinter,
Yeah,
Off the Ninja Turtles.
off the Ninja Turtles.
but he wasn't a dad.
He was
I mean,
a dad to the
I
Turtles?
guess he was. I don't know.
He
That's.
filled the role.
I didn't know we were doing cartoon ones too,
It's
man.
a TV show.
You said sitcoms. I don't know if
I
that.
think I said TV show.
Oh, maybe
It doesn't matter.
That's
yeah.
okay.
My brain doesn't think that well.
Or I'll just to be different. Tony Danza.
Yeah, he'd have been a good
Pretty
one
good dad.
too. Yeah, and it'd
Yeah.
been cool to have your dad banging your stepmom too, while like knowing she is.
Yeah.
Oh, is that just me?
no.
Weird.
I had a stepmom, and I never was into that. So,
Depending on what your stepmom
I was
looked
gonna
like,
say,
I
yeah,
guess.
it's all about
and
looks,
feel
I guess.
free to let us know who your TV dads are later on. If you listen back, tweet us. The Middle of the Road Podcast, Facebook, The Middle of the Road Podcast,
I do-
LinkedIn, The Middle of the Road Podcast.
I don't think we were live on TikTok.
Oh, did I not hit it? Let's go.
Guess-
Here, you guys talk for a second.
Okay. Let's do a spinner question.
We are, and we have 7 likes and 2
Ah, landed on me.
Hey, what do you know?
Chance, you're from Arkansas, correct?
I am.
At what age did you find out that your parents were cousins?
God,
Well, no, strangely enough, he's
Answer the question.
It's I got lucky. My dad's a Yankee, so my parents
Ah.
aren't cousins.
Okay, so what age did you marry your first cousin?
That would have been 19.
19.
But so I mean, it was hard though because I grew up in a small town. I grew up in a town called Bald Knob.
Okay.
That is the
I
name.
thought you're
of
from
my
Searcy.
Searcy's where I lived,
Oh.
where I moved to, but my hometown was Bald Knob, Arkansas.
Okay.
Because of the mountain.
What's funny is the only place per capita with more incest than Arkansas is Conway Springs.
Oh.
Debate.
That was pretty good. That was pretty
There's
decent.
more of the same last of 3 of the same last
That-
names in that town
that
than
is-
any town in America.
1,000% true. Luckily, Curry's
I'm
are
not saying
related,
you
but
are.
The town
but
only
I'm
has
s-
one family tree.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they all bang it.
It's like 3 trees, and they're like
They all grew together.
they're
at the
growing
top.
down. Their roots are like
They're just
all infused and entwined. Yeah,
It's a
that's what
family
happened.
cactus because they're a bunch of pricks.
And I need listeners' help for the next one going forward too. So we need to come up with some new ideas to get new listeners. So no bad ideas except for everything I've done so far. But everything else. So if anybody's got something, if we're going to stand out and twirl signs somewhere, whatever.
There are a lot of street corners around here. So
Live podcasts like out of jails. I don't know. We're gonna come up with a new avenue. So, but what's been driving me the craziest since last show? I can't get gladiator golf out of my head.
That was a great idea.
I can't get it out of my head, and I think it might be my Oklahoma Tiger Park.
I think we need to do it.
You know,
Chance,
so
did you catch that?
I did not.
so we have an idea. So it started out with Top Golf's got huge, right?
Yeah,
Every
oh,
you hear
yeah,
every
everywhere.
weekend Top Golf. Somebody was at Top Golf. Somebody's posting a picture at Top Golf. Top Golf. So I came up with an idea for like an indoor golf or whatever. But then he said that's already been done. Then I came up. Then he said, what about just driving range at people? And so it's a bid style system where so you find whoever's up next per se that you get 10 guys that are all runners tonight, and one gets up and he says, well, I want $100. You know, if I'm going to do it, you got to make it from one side to the other to collect too. Well, you can get hit, but you got to make it. Then you have 20 people up there hitting, and you say, what do you guys bid to hit at this next hitter? So it's $5, you know, for this guy. It's a high school punk or whatever, you know. So I kind of said, high school kids will work for money, sign up, or will sign up for targets. Who else is coming up with true ideas to help the homeless? And then I said, would you not want to help a vet, hit a high schooler, or get people off the streets, or at least get their fix? We're here to create jobs. It's a bid-style system. So, I mean, I think you'd have, when you were in high school, you could go be a runner and make $100, you know, go run, make $100. That's your weekend money. And then if you were the other side, if you had $30 you wanted to go spend, you go sit up there and hit balls at the nerd that's running by, or the
guy that you don't like, you know.
Yeah, or you get like a wheelchair guy with like, you know, with like the vet will work for money rolling by there, and you guys are just launching at him, you know. But that's like that guy, he got a $5,000 for that. You know, it's horrible. It sounds horrible. I get it. Who else is coming up with ideas to help him? Who else is coming?
I'm not even saying it's a terrible idea.
I mean, we get a homeless guy, and you know he's up there pushing it. He's got to have his cart or whatever, and he's got to make it through.
I mean, but that was the whole idea of Hard Target. I mean, those guys. Well, I can't remember how much money it was. It was like $1 million, or you know, supposedly, and all he had to do was make it however far.
Yeah, but so you get like then you
but
get
you die.
Well, and this one I mean,
this one you live.
We don't
So
plan
the
to.
stakes are less.
I can't say somebody might not.
I was
You
gonna
sign
say,
the waiver.
This is a golf ball.
You're signing the waiver, and
Casey thinks that we should have more than just a helmet on. I kind of think helmet and that's it. Like
I was
Well, I
thinking
didn't
like
even know
just
it was
like
a helmet. I thought we were just going.
No, we gotta.
well,
have
but see, I think you can get paid some more for that. You sign the
if you go
waiver.
without safety equipment.
Oh yeah, man. And there's like,
Yeah.
and so we'll have like different obstacles at different like links too. So like 25 yards, that'll double your money, you know. But there's no obstacles, or maybe like some thin like poles there.
Right.
And then you know at 45 yards out, we might have one mound part way through, but if you stop at that mound, that gets everybody ready to gear it up for you. So you got to decide, is that a good place to stop, or do you fake it and keep going, or you know? So
Yeah, every so many yards, you put some sort of obstacle that slows them down a little bit, but not completely.
Uh-huh.
And then they have a chance.
But
to
you get some
get a
athletic.
buzzer and tap out. Like this is as far as I want to go.
You get like some athletic kids there, and you do the opposite. You like throw like one of those nets. You got to crawl under there, so they're on the ground, and you're getting launched at, and then you got to climb up like something, and then do the pedal thing across while people are launching at you.
Like American Gladiator.
Yeah, that's kind of what we
that's
talked
why it's
about.
gladiator golf.
I got you.
Yeah.
So when you
Dude,
said
that's a good
gladiator
name.
Golf, I thought, you know.
I need to
so-
go right here and trademark that real quick.
Right, hurry. So if you took
We've
Top
trademarked
Golf-
it on air.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
That is. That's like
Officially
a
trademarked.
Yep.
Yes.
So if you took Top Golf and spun it around to Top Golf facing each other,
Just launching at
Just
each other.
launch them at each other.
That would be fun too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would be less interested in that one, but I think I'd be more interested in watching it.
Oh no, I'd 100% be in for it. I mean,
That'd
I've
be-
been hit by golf balls before. It doesn't tickle, but I would be all in for trying to hit somebody with a golf ball.
Well, that's where then
That's why I
then
enjoy
you get
golf.
up on the bid system. You get up top or down low, whatever
Right.
you think you're better at, and then you know, listen, you want to help.
Obviously, I'm not going to be the guy running across the.
You want to help a vet? We got a vet coming up next, guys. You know, he's agreed to do this, and right now he said he wants $1,000 for this run. Do I have any takers?
I think we got kicked off at TikTok.
Oh, did I? It happens. Well, we'll see what that one's about. I don't care. I don't care about TikTok.
Say something about Asian.
Yeah, and vets hitting stuff at people. There could be a lot of stuff, but I was doing it as a positive thing,
Yeah, we're making
not
money.
a
We're trying
negative
to get 'em off
thing.
the streets.
Yes, I'm trying to do things to get them houses, get them jobs. They could work at the course.
We'll get them health care because obviously the government's not doing
Exactly. That's why I said they can work at the course. We have all kinds of ideas. So
They're going to need that health care, especially for lawn dart night.
yeah, we'll do one where like one night where you can just throw baseballs or something.
All
So
kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Answer the question.
we're gonna do another round. This one lands on Chance, so Chance gets to pick somebody in the audio or in here that he wants to ask a question to.
Well, I mean, my main one, I guess, would be Skin Man. Is where did the name come from? Where did?
Well, we did that last show,
Oh,
but that's okay. That's okay. Anybody that didn't listen
Give me the
last
Cliff
show,
Notes.
It was from
our old podcast.
the old one.
Okay.
Conrad had found a underground newspaper that nothing was spelled correctly, and there was an obituary in there, and it said, I don't remember the guy's name, but AKA Skin Man. And it's like, what a great nickname.
That's fantastic.
Somebody's got to take that nickname. Nobody took it for like 3 weeks. And then Conrad introduced everybody in the show. It was like, you know what? Call me Skin Man. And he
That's
started the
fantastic.
show over. And my cousin reminded me that when I was growing up in little Black Dot in Murdoch, Kansas, that I would just walk around town naked.
And
So
he
fitting,
says
so very
he
fitting.
says it when he was growing up, and I've said
I'll
last
text
weekend.
you,
Yeah, there is.
We don't say how far back people grow up.
He grew up. He's in a small town now, where 14 people in his town or 8, and he makes the paper every week. Skin Man was running naked through the streets again.
Skin
you
Man
know?
sighting.
All right, we're gonna do it again. TJ,
All right.
don't ask questions about spiders this time.
No. I'll go to Chance's other fear.
Relationships.
The dark.
Commitment.
Chance is also scared of the dark.
Hey, that's a legitimate fear.
Chance is pretty legitimate, especially when we used to work at night all the time.
I don't.
6.5.
Are you close to somebody when you're still scared of it, or is it when nobody's around you and you're walking by a cemetery?
When we're in the middle of fucking nowhere
all
at
the
night.
above.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an irrational fear. It started when I was 4 years old.
Can a man be scared of the dark?
100%.
Okay.
I mean,
He's sitting right next to me.
depends on what you qualify as a man, but I mean, yeah,
Okay, well, that leads me into my next question. If we're so worried about people at drag shows, why are we not worried about Comic-Con people? Why are we not worried about all people in uniforms they don't belong in?
we can talk about this one, and I've got a lovely little story from our lovely state of Kansas here, talking about your people that like to dress up in outfits, but
That's okay. No, that's where I put that one on the podcast that I was on yesterday. I actually told him that was one of my, what'd you unplug?
Nothing on my knees. I'm old.
he's old.
I
raining.
told him it was one of my topics for the show tonight, and basically my whole thing was I don't have a problem with either. I could care less. I mean, I watched a ton of To Catch a Predator and all those shows growing up, and never did I see him ever catch a drag queen. But I seen preachers, principals, men of faith, fathers, coaches, but I never seen a drag queen on there. Now, granted, they might not have aired those episodes. I would love to see those episodes.
Have you ever been to a drag show?
Yes, I have.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, it's crazy.
the most fun you'll
It's a
ever have in your
blast.
life. It really
Yes,
is.
I went to one. I don't have a problem, and that's why. And so I felt bad because the guy that I do the show with, he's into the Comic-Con, and actually his other host that wasn't there for the show yesterday was at Comic-Con. So I offended him by trying to basically I was trying to basically say, well, can we either not have a problem with all of them or have a problem with all of them? Because the Comic-Con people are in outfits. They're a unique group of people. I'm fine with it.
Right.
But
so the thing with your Comic-Con people versus your drag people is most of your Comic-Con people are less likely to actually approach somebody.
Yeah.
They're terrified of people.
Yeah, they're scared.
That's why
They
they put their outfits on and
Yeah.
go to Comic-Con, because you don't know who's behind that mask
Uh-huh.
or that outfit. So that's the only way they're going to approach somebody. Your drag queens, they're out there.
Yeah.
They're very approachable. They're talking to everybody. That's why people are afraid of them. Like, oh, it's no different. It's Halloween every day for them.
Yep. They're outgoing.
Be happy.
That's what I said. I again, mine was. What are we at? We got some questions?
Yeah, you're a buddy.
Well, yeah, that's my buddy. What he asked me there. Oh, he wasn't offended. No, I know. I don't mean it that way, but he kept qualifying it, and it was awesome. That's what I wanted to do, was create that conversation to make people uncomfortable. He took it as, and he didn't maybe, and I misunderstood it, but he was kind of like, well, why I go? You don't have to tell me why you go. You enjoy doing it. That's why you go. Your daughter loved it. That's why you guys went. Right. I don't care if you also take your daughter and to a drag show. I don't care. That's
right.
That's me. I mean, a lot of those are probably above 18 when they do those shows because they get pretty wild, but I don't think those people are that way when they're reading to kids or, You know, I don't know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, your drag shows, your drag queens, people that do that,
Most
they're
librarians scare me more than drag queen people do.
teachers in general. But I mean, it's one of those things. But yeah, I mean, your drag queens, your drag show people, you know, they're very outgoing people. They dress up like that so they can express themselves because they're terrified to do it in their
In their
day
day, yes.
because they're afraid of being shunned or pushed to the side, whatever. But okay, RuPaul, the longest running drag queen there is. I'd let that dude read me a bedtime story.
Yeah.
I mean,
seems like a great person. My
Oh,
daughter
yeah.
loved that show. I mean, she, from a young kid, grew up, and I mean, she started watching that at 9, 10, 11, and she's still straight. She has no gay tendencies I mean, she watched all that, a bunch of gay friends,
Right.
and I mean, I think we are kind of who we are regardless of that stuff. So what do you think?
About.
Who are you more scared of, drag people or Comic-Con people?
Oh. Neither.
Okay. What about
What would you do if you showed up, like, answered a Facebook ad, and there was, like, you're looking for a 53 Chevy or whatever.
Okay.
Isn't that what you want?
Yeah,
Okay,
51.
whatever. 51 Chevy. You showed up there, and the guy's like, yeah, meet me inside this restaurant.
Okay.
You go and sit down.
It's a drag show?
No. It's fucking Chris Hansen. He's like, hello, Casey.
Well, how did I get busted, though? What the fuck? What did I do? I was just after a 51. Any way, that should have been the right
He
age.
goes, why don't you have a fucking seat? And you're like, what did I do?
What did I do?
I'm here
We
to-
have all these correspondence.
Yeah, he's like, I'm here to answer a truck. I'm here about a truck. He goes,
You fell for it.
you fell for it, didn't you, buddy?
Nobody's been
Because
falling for it.
when you're like, I'd really like to take a ride in that thing. I'd like to
Did
sit
you
in
know that was a 14-year-old
Did you
commenting?
know this was a 12-year-old you were talking to? He'd be like, oh, fuck. I didn't mean that.
There was one of those I watched where the guy was like, "No, that wasn't me." Like, why are you here? Why? You know, what do you mean?
I did. I think I sent you two are like the ones I send all my TikTok to, me and Chance.
I
And,
have
and
9
Casey.
unopened from you. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
It was a busy day.
There was that one a while back where it was a guy who had that new F-350, or maybe it was a Denali. It was an F-350. Older guy. He was like in his 60s. And those guys were like, you need to call your sister. Because he was there. He said he was going to meet his sister, and he was meeting a 13-year-old. Why the fuck would you, like, go, yeah, I'll go ahead. I'll call her and tell her what I did.
Nope.
I mean, why? I mean,
They're gonna see it anyway, but
what makes them like convince them guys to go, yeah, I need you to call your wife and tell her what you've done.
It was bullying and harassment, just by the way. So we
Really?
apologize. We weren't trying to bully. I was trying to come up with an idea, and I was trying to be funny.
Man, I got
you can't be funny on TikTok. You got to be naked. You got to be soliciting, or you've got to be selling something.
yeah, it's good. Yeah,
And most of the time, sex.
hand in hand.
I got blocked by Jeff the Drunk on fucking TikTok the other day.
How do you get blocked by
Yeah.
people? Why do you have time to get blocked by people? Why do you even
'Cause-
care so much?
No, you know what I said?
What?
I said, I'm telling Howard that you're on here singing.
I know
again."
you
He
were
fuck-
talking about
No,
that.
this was.
Oh, after?
Yeah, this is another one. I said, I'm telling Howard. He fucking blocked me. So I am blocked by Jeff the Drunk.
There you go.
Yep.
I've been blocked like when in 2016, 15.
Yeah, like when
I
you were
got
losing
blocked
your
by.
shit.
I don't even know about losing my shit when everybody was, and I
Mm-hmm.
still think I responded similar to how I do now, but was just
More hate in your heart then.
probably, but
Mm-hmm.
it was more. I just how retarded are or things like that.
Can't say retarded.
We've already kicked off everywhere.
Yeah.
I just meant how.
We're still live on Facebook.
I
baby.
just-
Doing this for each other.
I just meant like how much could you turn back your distributor cap? That's all I mean when I say it. I don't mean
Yours got turned back all the way a long time ago, right?
Yeah, that growing up in my nickname that we didn't talk about that show, used to be Corky. So, Skin Man, your question.
Oh, what was the first album when you were growing up? It was like, this is it. This is the music that speaks to me. This is what I've been looking for. Like anywhere between 8 to 12.
Mine is gonna be probably Kiss. Big Kiss fan.
That's why he's into drag queens. He was fine with it. Yeah,
I'm good with
they
it.
were the original ones.
OGs. I don't know if there's any specific album. It's just their music in general. Always been a Kiss fan.
If if I could be 100% honest, I never cared for him that much until Detroit Rock City, and then I fell in love with him. That's one of my favorite
Man, I'd like to
freaking
watch
movies.
that movie again.
That's a freaking awesome movie, dude.
I
That's
love that movie.
both of those 2 fight scenes from that movie are probably we got to do it, and then just beat the shit out of each other. I mean, that's true friendship.
Yeah.
That's true friendship. After the show, I will beat the shit out of you guys if we need it for the hell of it.
Yeah.
You know.
So speaking of older movies today, I've told you what have I told you? And Chance, you may even know this. What was the movie that scared me the most as a kid? I told you the other day. I know we've talked about it. That gave me nightmares as a kid. You remember?
I remember it was something irrational that shouldn't have, but I don't remember what it is.
Indiana Jones.
There
and
you
the
go.
Temple of
Yeah,
Doom.
because that temple got you.
Yeah.
Those fucking blood
So-
people pulling the
heart
the
out.
stomach out or the heart out. Yeah.
So I don't know. I told my kids today because my kids are here for the weekend, the week, and I said, "Let's watch an '80s
Did
movie."
have her draw me another picture?
Okay. I said, "Let's watch an '80s movie," and just kind of flipping through, and Indiana Jones. I said, hey, "Kids, this movie gave your dad nightmares."
They probably laughed at it.
No, when the first guy got his heart pulled out, Callie, Claire, Chloe were like, "Ah!"
But when you watch it now, you realize
Yeah,
those are not great graphics and effects, and you can already see, But I mean,
but they
back
were
then-
still pretty scared.
That's
and,
awesome.
And but they're not gonna have nightmares. But I had snapped it, sent it to my mom. I said, "We're watching whatever scariest movie as a kid that gave me nightmares." And my mom goes, "Oh, what gave you nightmares as a kid?" I'm like, and I sent it to her, and she goes, "Oh, the Treasure of Doom." I said, "Yep, that's it."
Close enough.
I told you
Close
mine
enough.
was Roseanne growing up. That was one that gave me.
Roseanne?
I'm just joking. When they'd go to have that sex scene
All right.
at the end of every episode, they'd go into the man. I'm like, oh,
Darlene or Becky, go.
Darlene. Hold
Well, I
on.
was gonna say which one.
Which one?
Yeah.
Actually, both. Honestly, probably both.
Yeah.
There was one phase where Becky got all weird and started wearing like tighter jeans when they were living down in the basement, and they busted him for pot on that one episode, and she's all smoking. I was pretty turned on her by that one.
Skin Man?
Becky,
Becky, which Becky?
the original.
Original Becky? Chance?
I mean, as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I almost feel like I'm supposed to say Darlene because of her.
'Cause it
Patrick
looks exactly like
the
Mahomes.
same person, but yeah, I mean, second generation Becky probably.
She was taller,
yeah,
hotter, had
way
those
hotter.
boobs. Oh yeah.
Yeah, way hotter.
And honestly,
What
for
about
me, it was that one
Jackie?
redhead. No, I was into that redhead troubled friend of theirs always that was coming around. That was like the Peggy Bunny. She always had the spandex on. She was married to Tom Arnold on there.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the diner.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
she was.
Yeah, you know what? Another great TV dad. I would.
He was. He would have not been.
Awesome
I don't
dad.
know if he was a good one when you needed somebody to whoop some ass.
Oh, dude, when he whips that dude's
Oh,
ass
yeah.
that was beating on what's her name?
On Jackie, I that was on TikTok last
Yeah.
night. They were showing that clip, and I was like, man, I forgot.
Well,
how much
and
I
when she
loved him on
went
that
in and
show.
scared, George Clooney was on that, and he was treating her, and he goes in the office, and he's like, puts his hand on the
Yeah.
thing and leans in, like, she's a real good girl. It's like,
Yeah.
I was scared. Like, that dude's a big bad mother.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
You know,
He
but
was
then
a
you watch
stud.
him in the movie where he plays the king, and you're like, oh, okay, well, he's a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Do you have any news stories you said? I'm going to ask a question, and then we'll go.
Okay.
You can get a news story ready here. What's your most hated means of transportation?
I mean, looking at me to go with walking probably.
Well, of actual
My
transportation.
Lamborghinis are worn out. Driving just.
You don't like driving? You'd rather ride with somebody?
No.
Like me,
No,
mine would be rickshaw. I don't want nobody to be able to decide where I go. Actually, I don't like riding in a cab, rickshaw, or an Uber.
See, I'd rather just hop in, let somebody drive me around.
I would too if I trust them and I know where they're going. You know,
Chance got a ride in the PT on the way here.
I seen that, dude.
Yeah.
I seen that. Well, I didn't know if we were going to brush past me, not being the good dog loving person that I am when you got here,
Yeah,
or
we weren't gonna talk about that, just in case the.
did you have
the
Did you have
SPCA
any
is watching.
news?
I got
News.
Good one. Dad, devastated to learn his wife of 6 years is his sister. Now, this is different than what Chance grew up with cousins being his wife, but this is, these
Listen
people must
here.
be from.
Listen
really
here.
is
I don't.
different.
It is
It's
different. It seems different.
After a few years of marriage, some couples hit obstacles, everything from infidelity and compatibility issues, but this man just found out about his wife, the mother of his 2 children, is something he never expected, that she is his sister.
You're my sister. You're my sister. You're my sister.
That's what it is. There is some sort of Joe Dirt going on. So it might seem unlikely, but the reason it happened is because a man was adopted at birth and never knew anything about his biological parents. However, when his wife of 6 years needed a kidney, he underwent tests to see if he was a viable donor. They found out that he indeed was a match, but the doctor wanted to do additional testing due to what he described as some information from the HLA tissue. The man said, "I didn't think much of it and agreed." However, when the results came back, he learned that his wife had an abnormally high match percentage.
And he left her for, quote, being an incest-loving bitch. Oh.
My question is, how was the third arm growing out of their kid's forehead, not a dead giveaway?
Supposedly these kids are fine.
Well, and
supposedly, but everybody thinks their kids are fine.
That's true. There's a third nipple at least going on or something.
So this confused him, but the doctor went on to say that because of how DNA is passed through generations, a parent to a child could have at least 50% match, and siblings could have 0 to 100%. The doctor stated it was rare to have this high of a match, as a husband and wife and the pair are related, likely brother and sister.
Likely. So there's a chance.
Well, unsure of what to do, the man asked what is that?
I don't know. Where are you at? Commenters?
Commenters? What? That's a weird word.
Commenters?
Commenters to help. One wrote, "You already have kids and they are assumed healthy since you didn't mention any crazy abnormalities. If you're happy, you're happy. Donate the kidney to your sister wife and continue being great parents to your children."
Uncle, dad, and Aunt Mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Another man said, "I mean, at this point, you're married with children already. You can't take that back, so I don't see the point in blowing worlds up." While someone else wrote, "Everything has been great this long. No point in changing it."
I don't know, man. It's like,
what would you do?
Not my sister.
Yeah, to start with, probably not.
You already did.
But what I was going to say is there a chance after mashing so long and combining DNA that is it possible? I mean, just possible. I didn't study humans evolving from monkeys, but is it possible that after mashing long enough, your DNA starts to mesh?
Cool.
Well, I mean, because like we played a show last night, or we on that game on the podcast I was on. Let's talk about it real quick. My buddy Josh, JRB5, had me on his podcast, and so we talked about that. Well, we played a game, and it was guess number 1 to 500. I wrote down a random number, and I gave the viewers, my wife wasn't on yet, a couple hints. And my hint to the viewers was, it's an unlucky number, but it's my lucky number, but I didn't do the obvious one. So it's obviously 13 and something else with it. Well, she didn't hear that. She jumps on, he posts the pictures and says it. She says 313. I mean, it's our first guess out of nowhere, 1 to 500. She's taken some of my DNA. She's been taking a lot of, for years, but I think
you've dogged in that for over 20 years.
But I think she's absorbed some of it to where like she's got some of this. I mean, she laughs at my shit now where she didn't used to. She's like, "Honey, you can't say that." Now she's like, I'm like, I fucked her up, so is it possible?
So maybe they weren't, you say maybe they weren't brother and sister before.
that so much DNA swapping, maybe they, like when they do it, they sleep inside of each other. And like maybe if you like dogs do sometimes.
Different dogs.
Well, like how they get
that
stuck.
might have been what happened to your dog.
How they get stuck inside each other when they're doing it, and they can't pull it out. Well, sometimes you just don't fight it, so you just lay down and go to sleep.
When I was a kid, we had 2 dogs out there, and they got stuck together. And my dad was out there fucking trying to pull them apart.
Poor thing. Oh, that makes a louder sound than my dog did when trying to. Yeah, I don't know. Just an observation.
Okay. Larissa Pippen claims that she had sex. Kind of ruined it there.
News.
Larissa Pippen claims she had sex with Scottie Pippen 4 times every night during their 23-year marriage.
Does he know about it?
Does he know about it? Does Michael Jordan know about this?
4 times a day.
So she's banging Michael Jordan's son, right?
Well, I don't know if they still are. I don't know. Are they together? Awesome. I know they were.
It's like,
how is that even possible?
What?
I mean, how many miles do you think you run in like an NBA game? Sprinting, really?
Yeah, I was gonna say probably upwards of 4 to 5 in a game. Pretty easy.
Yeah. That being said, when Larissa Pippen gets in front of a camera and says she had sex 4 times a night for 23 years with Scottie, I need to stop the conversation, reel it back a little. That would be 1,460 times a year and 33,580 times during the duration of their marriage. I know somebody who hasn't had that number, the first number, their entire life.
I watched a video last night that in one day that was equaled. So
let's do some math. We'll use Casey for example. Casey is in his late 30s, so 41. We'll take that minus the year.
It's a new late 30s.
So you're from Arkansas too, right?
Yeah.
Late 30s. He's 40. I'm 41. It's the new late 30s.
Casey lost his virginity at 11, correct?
Yep.
Okay. So math science, that's 30 years, okay?
Okay.
30 years divided by 1,460. Oops, I did it the other way. Sorry.
Well, you just
1,460 divided by 30. That's 48 times a year.
Okay. Throughout my life, have I averaged that?
Yeah. So
not since 11. Since
no, I'm saying if you take 30
from 21 to 22, yes.
So if you took, I'm just saying, I'm just saying to get that number, just the 1,460.
Yeah. That's a whole. I know that's hard to say.
50 times a year. That's once a week.
Yeah, that's why his legs don't work anymore.
So that's what she's saying. A year.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, she's saying no. I'm with you.
So let's do the.
Yeah, it's 4 times a day. I got the math. It was 4 times 365.
No, I'm saying okay. So let's
it was
do that.
14.
Let's do that.
And then you
big
take
number.
that times their career. And he couldn't even. He scored nowhere near that much points. That dude averaged 14 points a night. No wonder. You listen to all the best athletes, and when they're in peak form, they're not doing it.
Except for boxers.
No, boxers don't do it.
Don't do it at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in order for you to hit that number in 30 years, it has to be 1,128 times a year, and you divide that by 365. That's 3.09 times.
Well, they were married 23 years, so you added 7 more years onto it, and yeah,
that's
impressive. That's not even. I can't. On a Sunday, if my family's out of town, I can barely masturbate 3 times a day.
Quitter.
Well, I'll do a 4th one, but I mean, I'm just.
Then you get this.
You're not putting everything into it. There on the
I'm switching left hand to right hand to just get it over with, blow a little dust out, and move on. You know.
You already said there's nobody home. Don't forget about the couch cushions.
Oh, I've tried that, man. Those just chafe at this point.
Here's what they're saying. They're
not me, the couch cushions.
There are only 3
Honey,
possibilities
your skin's
here.
on there again.
Only 3. This is Hall of Fame LeBron. I don't know why they say LeBron. Wilt Chamberlain levels of lying in broad daylight, unbelievably unnecessary lying, just straight up coming up with a number and sticking to it for no reason. 2, Larissa Pippen has no idea what having sex is. I don't mean to be that guy, but it's quite possible our concept of sex and Larissa's are ocean links apart.
I don't know, because she's had sex with a lot of guys from what I heard.
Just take the phrase hooking up for an instance. The area I grew up, that just meant making out. You meet some people from different parts of the country, and that means fucking. I guess, that's probably not that. I'm just saying, like, if you say you hooked up with somebody, like in high school, that means, like, when we were in high school anyways, that mean like, hey, I made out with that chick. But now it definitely means fucking.
I just would say if I from the time I was 13 or 14 said I hooked up with a chick, I at least finger banged her.
Yeah. Part of me had sex with her.
Yeah. I mean, that hooking up, I would just say I made out with Sarah or Jennifer or Tammy or whatever at a party. But if I hooked up with her, something in her was inside of me or something in me was inside of her.
I'm sure inside of you is probably a lot of the things. Number 3, Larissa and Scottie Pippen are genetically engineered super soldiers who are ready to be activated.
See, this is me writing this story because you just can't. I mean, if I get 2 in a day, maybe. But for her, I might.
How come she looks so young?
I could all that. Fountain, the fucking youth.
Scottie Pippen has been the fountain of youth.
Counting Scottie Pippen's semen is the fountain of youth. Yeah. God dang it! I keep hitting this chair. I'm short.
What are you doing there?
I don't know. I'm sitting weird tonight, and I keep lowering myself down.
That's the last story I have.
All right,
and I've got Uncle Joe's story at the end of the show.
Okay, we'll go back to it. I sent a couple stories to Skin Man, and I did want to do a couple more questions. But for right now, we're going to kick it over to...
All men and women created...
Oh, man. I thought it was going to be smooth. I had it set up.
Hold on. Let's rewind it.
Skin Man, villain in disguise.
What is that? That sounds like the Beatles or something. Where'd that come from?
That's perfect.
What is that?
Just searching Skin Man
Just
clips.
Skin Man?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
I love it.
Thai officials search for radioactive cylinder.
Those Thailanders.
Are they Southern Thailanders? No? Can you do it like that?
In Bangkok,
Only when it fits.
Authorities in Thailand expanded their search Wednesday for a metal cylinder with radioactive contents.
Yeah, Paul? Or Wing? Yeah, we got another one gone. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody seen it? Okay, we ought to probably look for it. That's the third barrel this week. All right.
Radioactive contents that has gone missing from a power plant, warning to the public that it poses a danger to health. The 30-centimeter...
That's where the shemales come from, right?
Mm-hmm. Keep them flowing in Thailand.
cylinder containing the radioactive material.
Ninja Turtles, too.
Caesium-137 was discovered missing last Friday from a piece of machinery that a steam power plant in, province.
Pritcharabai.
East of Bangkok.
Bangkok?
Yeah, it's the capital of Thailand. And that's when you hit your friend in the nuts.
Yep. Derek fell for that one every fucking time.
Bangkok?
Yeah, every time.
Health officials cautioned the public that prolonged direct contact with radioactive material
Could turn you into a Ninja Turtle.
Skin rashes, hair loss,
drag queenism,
sores, fatigue, and vomiting.
That just sounds like all of my. That sounds like me waking up on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult to determine who has been exposed because these are all symptoms on every sidewalk in Thailand.
Yes. Many hairless, toothless, but beautiful women.
Lady boys.
Lady boys.
I
call them boy women, but that's fine.
General of the Department of Medical Services said
Shims.
that the Caesium-137 has similar physical characteristics to salt and can disperse easily if its container is open. So they're just putting it on the fish and every damn thing.
You know there's street vendors out there.
I've got so muscular this week from all this.
It looked like salt.
I don't know if what would you do if you came across, like, say, it's my face mask. It's a beard face mask when I had COVIDs. No, it's not a sexy tank top I have out here when you guys aren't out here and I'm practicing my drag queen shows, okay? It is a COVID mask for beards.
Okay.
Well, we're going to do one more Skin Man story, and then we're going to go to an Uncle Joe story.
Skin Man.
I love that.
In disguise.
I had a whole thing where I could make a song off of it where it did a couple rounds. But
that's perfect.
Sausage vending machines booming in Germany.
Damn.
I figured San Francisco.
Not
Hungry
that kind of
Germans
sausage.
craving a sausage in the dead of night are increasingly turning to vending machines for their bratwurst.
Would you buy meat from a vending machine?
Probably.
Yeah.
Right now.
Packaged, dried meats or whatever.
Especially like
Here
when
all.
you're hungry.
Yeah.
Like on a night
You know, it's
shift on
funny.
the
Like
playground.
that's why I say. So you like go up there and it's like, man, do I want some Funyuns or a log of beef?
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Frankfurter.
As long as they keep it warm, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like.
This is what they look like, by the way.
Oh. Well, so it's cold.
I would assume,
That's terrifying.
isn't it?
That is,
But you're gonna buy some links from it at least,
yeah, at least one or two.
and maybe some potato salad.
These machines are booming outside Germany. Cities with shops are less likely to stay open for long hours, according to survey by German press agencies.
Perfect.
Especially structurally weak rural areas, vending machine solutions are becoming increasingly popular, says Heike Reichner. He's a local.
You sure?
There's a strong development towards the vending machines which is used to deliver meat, milk, eggs, and other products to customers outside core opening times.
That was better than the Southern China one.
That was really a productive segment, wasn't it?
I thought it was terrific.
Dude, you're fucking on it, man. You're like on A game today.
A little practice.
Yeah.
Some butchers' vending machines sell 3 or 4 types of sausages and punettes accompanying potato salad, and customers can buy all they need for a traditional hearty German feast.
So like you go to a barbecue
shop.
in Germany, okay, or sex shop.
Mhm.
But you're going to a barbecue and sitting outside of it. You're tired of people not bringing meat. So their entry to it is you have that there, or
Oh,
bringing a thing. They got to get something out of the vending machine. You made it easy on them. They
Yeah.
just got to
Yeah, they
show
don't have
up.
to go, yeah.
They don't got to pack nothing. They don't got to do nothing. They got to
You're
stop.
still gonna cook it. They just
Yeah,
gotta-
you're cooking it.
You're
They're
just
picking
paying
their
for
own
it.
cut. They're picking their own cut. It's
Yeah.
like a perfect thing for a wedding too. You want the fish? You want the chicken? Go up to the vending machine, pick it.
Go pick
you
it
know,
out.
Mhm.
give it to the
Bring it
chef.
over
He'll
here.
throw it up
That's
for
right.
you, man.
It's pretty good.
So after next orgy,
Yeah.
and you're very hungry for Schnitzengruben, there are over 570,000 vending machines in Germany, but despite their popularity, they are expected to complement rather than replace traditional shops operating in areas which a shop might not be economically viable.
No, I want my tube steak packed right in front of me. You know, I don't want somebody else. I don't want to get it from a
Yeah, I
machine.
need to see it happening.
I want to know how it's. I want to know how the meat's made.
With love.
All right, we're gonna do one more round of questions, and then we're gonna go to a story.
Answer the question.
TJ, you don't get the question. Scanman, you're up.
Heard enough from you, TJ.
Not you.
Yeah, heard enough from you.
At what age did you realize it's like, I have a really warped sense of humor?
When did I realize it?
Yeah.
It has actually been more recently. It probably early 30s.
Sometimes
Like
it takes making friends to realize you're
Yeah.
having a morbid sense of humor.
It's really when you realize the ones that stick around, and you're like, man, what's wrong with that guy? Wait, where'd everybody else go?
Uh huh. That's
Like,
my best.
oh,
That's my best
what
friend.
happened to me. I'm fucked in the head.
All right. We're-
Normal is in the eye of the beholder.
We did it around and it landed on me. We're going to do a little section I call rapid fire. I'm going to hit you with a couple questions, and you just answer them the best way you can, okay?
Me and Rapid don't go together for anything. So.
What would be the worst superpower to have?
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's harder than it seems.
Faster chance.
Yeah.
Worst superpower, I mean,
Putrid smell.
That's good.
okay, there we go. When is it okay to cry?
Anytime.
Chance like
Especially after sex.
What are you here to promote?
Y'all.
Do you like me so far?
So far.
Give him a minute.
You don't seem to have very good judgment in friends. Okay, that was more of a
you
statement.
saw who brought me
Why
here.
is that?
You saw who brought me here.
This is actually TJ's question. But if you had to at gunpoint, take it in the butt or in the mouth, which would it be? Again, TJ's question. I'm just asking it for him. He was too scared.
Yeah. Gunpoint. Can I just take the bullet?
No.
Nope.
Andy, you have to
Nope.
do
You
it.
got to pick it, buddy. This you're saving
It's
somebody's
gonna go in
life.
the butt then.
All right. Thank you.
I don't have to taste it.
TJ's out on this. He hasn't won this shit.
That's
He's
what I said.
he's wanting.
That was my answer.
Oh yeah, that's true. I said mouth. I
Yeah.
said butt. You'd never forget. Mouth. You can just spit it out. Okay. If you had to have sex with one current or ex daytime show host, who would it be? And just for an example, mine is Montel Williams.
Okay, so are we going talk show host or can it be game show?
I'm daytime, like a talk show. Yeah, we got Ricky Lake, Maury, Jerry Springer,
Bob
all day
Barker.
long. Well, see, that's why I asked game show.
No,
If it was game
just
shows,
just talk
Bob
shows.
Barker. If we're doing talk shows, then it's Jerry Springer all day long.
Okay, mine's Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, it's Ricky Lake.
Dude, I was into Ricky Lake too.
The skinny one or the thick
I was gonna
one?
say, wait, which one are we?
I like
are we
the thicker one. I did like her when she got skinny thick,
Are
though.
we talking Crybaby Ricky Lake, or are we talking like 10 years into the show. Ricky
I've
Lake,
got a
Ricky
way to
Lake.
keep
Doesn't matter. I was gonna say, I want her to cry. It actually helps me. Do you believe in God or Santa more? And prove evidence, because there's lots of stories about both of them.
Evidence?
I'm just joking.
The evidence. We can't do evidence here. I can't prove Santa's real.
Thank you. And that was all for rapid fire.
Get me a.
You want to spin?
Yeah. And look
at that.
There we go.
If I let off on it.
Okay. I was trying to think about this just a little bit about. Do you remember at what city and state we met
Answer the
in?
question.
What city and state we met in?
I can't remember. I think I do remember. I remember what happened the first night we met.
It was a city sex shop, and it was a state of confusion.
I think I know where it was. Now I just asked. I think it was in Beaver.
Thanks.
Hey, nailed it.
So back when Chance and I first started working together, this was like before Netflix and stuff was around, but there wasn't the streaming stuff, so we watched movies all the time. And the thing was, we'd pass movies back and forth, Redbox or whatever, or we would have these huge hard drives with all these movies. And Chance goes, "I got something you want to watch tonight. I don't know if you're into it or not." And he goes, "It's a show about zombies." And he goes, I don't know if you like it or not. He's like, "But it's cool. You should probably try to watch
It's 5
it."
episodes. Just
Yeah.
What was
This
it?
was exactly. It was Walking Dead.
Oh, is this the beginning of Walking
Yeah,
Dead?
the first
Oh.
season of Walking Dead. It was before it was very. I mean, I never even heard of it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You should just try it." And I was like, "Holy shit, dude!"
Yeah.
Because he was working. I think we were tracking by ourselves at night. I was, and Chance was during the day.
Yep.
And he goes, "Just watch it tonight and let me know what you think." So I was out by myself in the middle of fucking nowhere at night watching Walking Dead for the very first time. Kind
At
of
least
scary.
the first, but they don't. I guess in season 1 they do make it into the country because you're not worried at most of season 1 because they're in the city.
Yeah, they're
if you're out in the country, you're like, well, this is where they're all trying to get.
Yeah.
This is the safe place. I'm there already. If it's happening in the cities, I'm good.
I can tell you what the scariest movie I ever watched at night on night shift was. It was that movie with Liam Neeson with the wolves.
Oh, yeah.
What was that called? I can't remember. But I was like in the snow, in the woods, watching that movie, and I had this AGM that was not accessible by the truck that you had to run to. You had to go drop an AGM at, and I ran as fast as I could, and I was out there by myself too. Dropped it, ran back to my truck, and I had that movie on. I think it was called the. Gosh dang it! You know what I'm talking about, though, right? Yeah. Anyways, that was one of the scariest movies I ever watched at night.
All right, we're gonna do an Uncle Joe story, but since you were supposed to bring a game and I put a sounder in for games,
it's game time.
Damn, I like that too. You were real. I'm proud of you. I think I'm very proud of you. I gave you an A+ for.
except for that opening. I'm gonna go edit that out and figure
fix
out.
it?
I'm gonna put an opening from like 2 weeks ago in where I nailed that one, and then we'll splice them together.
Okay. So the last time I talked about my Uncle Joe, I was in California.
And he
with
kicked
him.
you out.
Yeah, he basically sent me home because he didn't think I was man enough. No, actually, the last story I told you about was how my Uncle Joe became a man.
Oh, that's true.
In the
That's
cave,
true. Yeah.
Which he just said it's not really.
Well,
a
but
cave,
that,
it's
but
more
that
of a
was it,
tunnel.
and then right after that, he kicked you out. Then he came back and said, "You'll never be a man.
Yeah,
You should just go home."
basically, Yeah. So.
And he was right.
I went home for that summer, and after I came home, I was like, "Man, Mom, I just want to go back and spend another summer with Uncle Joe." And she goes, "You know what? You can. But your Uncle Joe doesn't live in California anymore. He moved, and he moved to Oregon."
Okay.
So same thing. Mom put me on a bus, sent me across to the West Coast to Oregon. So when I got there, I found out that my Uncle Joe had a son that I didn't even know about. And I was like, "I didn't even know you had a son." He's like, "Yeah, he's been living with his mom, his real mom, in Korea, and he just moved back here." Well, my Uncle Joe's son, he had some kind of Korean name that nobody knew, but we just called him Info.
Okay.
So this town that they lived in, he had all these buddies that he hung out with. He had his buddy named Mickey. He had Lard, and he had a buddy named Lips. And Mickey had an older brother named Brad. And they all lived in this little town in Oregon. But the thing is the town that they lived in, there's this big developer coming through. And he was trying to buy up all these homes around there.
Okay.
They wanted to build a big badass golf course. So like my Uncle Joe lived there, Mickey's dad, Lard's dad, Lip's dad, they all lived in this little town. And basically what they were trying to do was eminent domain all these houses, and unless they could come up, I say we, all of our dads and Uncle Joes could come up with enough money to fight these guys off. So my buddy Mickey, his dad used to work at a museum.
Okay.
And he used to bring a lot of his stuff home from the museum. He had an attic.
Okay.
And up in his attic, we found this map.
Okay.
And in this map, in this town in Oregon, there was always this folklore.
Like a myth?
A myth of this pirate.
Okay.
And the pirate's name was Two-Eyed Johnson.
Okay.
So we were up in the attic snooping around through all the shit. And our buddy Lard knocked this shit over, and we found this map on the back side of a painting.
Okay. And like, why are they hiding this?
Yeah. So the thing was, in the map, though, we look at it, shit's not even in English. It's
Yeah.
in French.
Oh, gosh.
And we're like, well, who can read
Well,
French?
Johnson's a French name.
Yeah,
So
for
they
sure.
should have guessed right
Yeah.
away.
So luckily, Lips could read French.
What the heck?
Yeah. So we're like, holy shit, this is a treasure. This is not an ordinary map. This is a treasure map. So Lip starts reading away in French, which, none of us even know. He was like, parlez-vous, something, something, something French. French kiss, French fries. So we're like, we've got to find Two-Eyed Johnson's treasure. So what we did was, we had to get out of the house, too, because Mickey's older brother, Brad, he was like, hey, Mom says, well, you guys can't fucking leave. The other thing was Mickey, he had something similar to asthma, but it wasn't asthma. It was like, what do they call that?
Like onset emphysema?
Something similar. Mickey was supposed to be on an
Pre-emphysema.
Yeah, he used to smoke cigs, back the bad kind. So anyways, we got to get out of the house. And we all go to the bikes. And what happened was we got Brad sat down in this chair, and we all jumped on top of him, and then we had to tie him up so we could get out and get away. And we let the air out of Brad's tires on his bike because he wasn't old enough to drive, but he was like at that age where he kind of should be driving,
Yeah.
like that weird 14, 15, but he don't have a car type shit. So anyways, this is a pretty long story. Should we save it for another show? Like
Yeah, we
the
can do
rest
it
of
to be continued.
Let's leave it
Get
to
to a
be
good
continued.
stopping.
So we're on our way to find the treasure.
All right.
And we left Brad at home, and we were gone.
Okay, we'll
So,
pick that
to be
up next
continued.
week.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
It seems like a good story. It's almost like you could write like a show or a movie or something
I'm
along
telling you,
these
dude.
lines. Your uncle is
My Uncle
his
Joe.
story. He has to give some good stories, man,
Yeah.
and
So
he lived a heck of a life. So
yeah, he's a great dude. He's still alive, by the way.
I was gonna say he's still alive,
Yeah.
even though you wished him dead
I
on
need to-
one episode. Well, maybe we'll see if we could get him. Maybe
That was just because he was so.
I know he
busy with
about
me
the grandpa.
TV,
yeah, I know. I remember. We'll see if we can get him on the
wouldn't
show.
you be
some-
pissed off if you found out that the reason why your grandpa died
because
is
of you.
sat too
No,
close
I got
to
you.
the TV?
No, one of my grandpas I would have sat closer sooner. No, I'm just joking. The other one, yes, that would have hurt me forever.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. Chance, did you have a good time?
I did.
We had a
Appreciate
blast.
everything.
I want to appreciate. I didn't do a good job at the beginning. Our sponsor is Room Green Productions. That's Josh's company. He does 2 podcasts. They do the Art Assault, and they do for music lovers only podcast. Great shows. I enjoy it. I'm going to be on some more in the future. We're going to have Josh on here in the future. He's better at some of this programming stuff than me, so he's going to help me get better at the video side. And then maybe I don't know what I can help him with, honestly. I can like show him how to hook a mic up, and I think he knows how to do that. So I don't know what I could do. I could program some funny sounds for him maybe or something. So we appreciate it. Did you have fun? Do you have anything before we go, Skin Man?
One more question.
Okay.
What is the band that you like, even though people, they call it a guilty pleasure, but from what I've gathered from your persona, you don't really have guilt.
No.
So what is the band that you like and you don't really care if somebody hangs a bunch of shit on you for it?
Nickelback.
Okay.
Love
Nickelback is
man.
badass.
I love Nickelback. I mean, I don't I've never figured out where the.
We should have probably started out with that, if I'm honest, because that answers my first question. Why are you the way you are?
Yeah. No, 100%. Like, I just never have been able to figure out why did they get such a bad rap? Like, where did
they were good music. I think it's because they sold. It was kind of like Creed. You sell out. You get too big for who you are. Look at this photograph. How could you not? I'm going to answer the question for you here in just a second, because my naughty pleasure band. Just if we're answering questions. This isn't actually our closing, but I might go out on it. I don't know if we'll get kicked off for this one.
We're kicked off everything already.
It's a comeback. I'm the comeback king. I am missing nothing.
That's some of my guilty pleasures. That's you were talking, you accidentally kicked off the Corey Feldman sounder in your story somewhere in there.
So.
It just something about that story reminded me of something Corey Feldman. Thanks everybody. We enjoyed it. We'll see you next week.
You get in my face with that, I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. You piece of shit. I'm here to date your 6-year-old. What do you think tap water is? It's a gay bomb, baby. I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay. Do you understand?